The Science of Scent, Decoding Canine Territory Marking. Scene 1, Introduction to Territorial Marking. In the intricate world of canine behavior, one phenomenon stands out, the act of marking territory with urine. Dogs, descendants of the gray wolf, exhibit this instinctual behavior as a vestige of their evolutionary past. As a zoologist, I observe that this is not mere happenstance but a deliberate communication strategy rooted in survival. Urine marking serves as a chemical billboard, broadcasting a dog's presence, status, and boundaries to others in its environment. Scientifically, this behavior is driven by the need to establish and maintain a territory, an area where resources like food, mates, and shelter are secured. Data from field studies reveal that male dogs, particularly those unnettered, mark more frequently, with an average of 12 markings per walk, compared to 4 for neutered males. This suggests a hormonal influence, specifically testosterone, amplifying the urge to assert dominance. As a filmmaker, I frame this scene with a slow pan across a suburban park, where a dog lifts its leg against a tree. A simple act, yet one layered with biological imperatives. From a data analyst's lens, we can quantify this. Over 80% of marking incidents occur near vertical surfaces, a strategic choice to maximize scent dispersal via air currents. This is no random habit, it's a calculated move in the game of canine social dynamics. Scene 2, The Chemistry of Scent. Zooming into the microscopic level, the secret of urine marking lies in its chemistry. A dog's urine is a cocktail of volatile organic compounds, pheromones, proteins, and metabolic byproducts that form a unique olfactory signature. As a zoologist, I note that the vomeronasal organ, a specialized scent detector in a dog's nasal cavity, decodes these signals with precision, identifying the marker's sex, age, and reproductive status. Research indicates that a single milliliter of urine contains over 300 distinct chemical compounds, a complexity rivaling human fingerprints. Filming this, I envision a close-up of urine soaking into the soil, paired with an animated overlay of molecules dispersing into the air, their paths traced by swirling lines. Data analysis supports this spectacle. Studies show that scent marks remain detectable to dogs for up to 48 hours, depending on weather conditions, with humidity enhancing longevity by 20%. This chemical persistence ensures the mark's message endures, deterring rivals or attracting mates long after the dog has moved on. The act is both a territorial claim and a temporal archive, a dataset of identity encoded in liquid form, broadcast to the canine community. Scene 3, Evolutionary Roots. To understand why dogs mark with urine, we must travel back 30,000 years to their wolf ancestors. In the wild, wolves patrol vast territories, using scent to delineate boundaries and avoid conflict. As a zoologist, I see this legacy in modern dogs, albeit adapted to smaller, urban domains. Evolutionary biology tells us that marking reduces direct aggression. Data from wolf packs show that 70% of territorial disputes are resolved via scent rather than physical confrontation. For a filmmaker, this calls for a sweeping shot of a forest at dusk, a wolf pausing to mark a rock, mirrored by a domestic dog marking a fire hydrant in the next frame. The continuity is striking. Analytically, we observe that domesticated dogs mark 3–5 times more frequently per square kilometer than wolves, a shift attributed to higher population density in human environments. This hypermarking reflects an intensified need to assert control amid overlapping territories. Urine becomes a proxy for presence, a nonviolent declaration of, "This is mine," honed by millennia of natural selection. Scene 4, Hormonal Drivers. At the core of urine marking lies a hormonal engine. Testosterone, surging in intact male dogs, is a key driver, amplifying the frequency and intensity of this behavior. Zoological studies reveal that castration reduces marking by 60% within 6 months, a statistic I'd highlight with a split screen, an unnettered dog marking relentlessly versus a neutered one strolling past without pause. As a filmmaker, I'd pair this with a graph overlay, plotting hormone levels against marking events. The curve peaking at puberty. Data further shows that females mark too, especially when in estrus, with a 40% increase in frequency, signaling availability to males. This dual-purpose marking, territorial and reproductive, underscores its adaptive value. The scent glands near a dog's urinary tract add pheromonal potency, a chemical boost detectable up to 100 meters away under optimal conditions. Analytically, we see a feedback loop. Marking triggers hormonal responses in recipients, who then mark in reply, creating a dynamic network of scent-based communication. Social hierarchy. Marking is a rung on the ladder of canine social hierarchy. In multi-dog environments, dominant individuals mark more often and overmark lower-ranking dogs' scents, a behavior observed in 85% of pack interactions. As a zoologist, I interpret this as a power play, a way to reinforce status without bloodshed. Filming this, I'd stage a park scene. A large dog sniffs a spot, then marks over it, while a smaller dog hesitates nearby. Data backs this narrative. Alpha dogs mark vertical surfaces 30% higher off the ground, maximizing visibility and scent range. This isn't random, it's a calculated signal of strength. From an analytical perspective, overmarking occurs in 65% of encounters between unfamiliar dogs, suggesting it's a tool for establishing order in new social contexts. Urine becomes a currency of influence, its placement and frequency encoding a dog's rank in real time. 6. Environmental triggers. The environment shapes marking behavior with precision. Dogs favor vertical surfaces, trees, poles, walls, because these amplify scent dispersal, a fact confirmed by studies showing 90% of marks occur on upright objects. As a zoologist, I see this as an optimization strategy, leveraging physics to broadcast identity. Filming this, I'd track a dog weaving through a cityscape, pausing at each lamppost, the camera tilting upward to emphasize height. Data reveals that marking spikes by 50% in unfamiliar territories, a response to perceived threats or competition. Weather plays a role too. Rain dilutes scents, prompting a 25% increase in marking frequency post-shower. Analytically, this adaptability suggests dogs process environmental feedback, adjusting their behavior to maintain territorial clarity. Urine marking is thus a dialogue with the landscape, responsive and strategic. 7. Communication beyond territory. Urine marking transcends mere boundary setting, it's a canine social network. Each mark conveys identity, mood, and intent, readable by any dog within sniffing range. Zoologically, this is a marvel of nonverbal communication, with the vomeronasal organ parsing signals human noses miss. I'd film this as a montage, dogs sniffing, tails wagging or stiffening, reacting to invisible messages. Data shows that 70% of marks are investigated by other dogs within 24 hours. Forming a relay of information. Females in heat leave estrus-specific compounds, triggering a 40% uptick in male marking nearby, a reproductive call and response. Analytically, this network's efficiency rivals modern data systems, with scent marks acting as packets of biological metadata, continuously updated and accessed. 8. Breed and individual variation. Not all dogs mark equally. Breed and personality shape this behavior profoundly. Terriers, bred for independence, mark 20% more than herding breeds like collies, per observational data. As a zoologist, I attribute this to genetic predispositions tied to ancestral roles. Filming this, I'd contrast a feisty Jack Russell marking every bush with a calm border collie passing by. Individual temperament matters too. Bold dogs mark 30% more than anxious ones, a correlation borne out in behavioral surveys. Analytically, this variability suggests marking is both innate and learned, modulated by experience. Urine becomes a canvas for self-expression, reflecting a dog's unique place in its world. 9. Human influence. Humans unwittingly amplify marking. Urban density crams dogs into shared spaces, spiking marking by 45% compared to rural settings, per GPS-tracked studies. As a zoologist, I see this as an adaptive response to competition. Filming this, I'd pan across a crowded dog park, urine stains dotting every post. Owners pulling dogs away mid-mark disrupt the act, yet 60% of dogs return to finish, showing its compulsion. Neutering, a human choice, cuts marking but doesn't erase it. 15% of neutered dogs persist. Analytically, this interplay reveals how domestication reshapes instinct, with urine marking bridging wild roots and modern life. 10. Conclusion. In the end, urine marking is a symphony of biology, behavior, and environment. It's a dog's voice in a crowded world, a scent-based language honed by evolution. As a zoologist, I marvel at its complexity. As a filmmaker, I'd close with a slow zoom on a marked tree, the world alive with invisible signals. Data tells us dogs mark 312 times daily, each act a thread in a vast communicative web. Analytically, it's a system of order, identity, and survival, as elegant as it is primal. Urine, mundane to us, is a dog's legacy, a mark that says, "I was here, and this is mine."